Saudi Cup and welcome to another episode of Media Friday here for the Funk It Pod. It's Friday and you know what it means. We talk about all things media, and today I really do what I said I would do a few weeks, almost every week ago, every other week, no, almost every week I think. I'm trying to think back. I think I said it almost every week. I said, today I'm not going to talk too much about Myanmar and whatnot because it's overkill and you're not going to take it serious anymore. So this time I'm not talking about what's happening in Myanmar, hashtag what's happening in Myanmar, but next week I might just come back to it and rub it in your face and try to raise even more hell and awareness. But for today, not doing this right now. Check out what's happening in Myanmar. I'm going to start with a few hopefully more light-hearted news segments or pieces of news, media news related, of course, that I've seen over this past week because, well, I just felt like I have to talk about it. Like one of my favorites. Let's just start with this thing. I saw it like 2 days ago or so on Yahoo Live, one of the best journalistic, I don't know, credible platforms out there. The article is, I'm a social media influencer and we don't deserve the hate we get. And no, let me answer and say yes, you do. Yes, definitely, no matter what kind of influencer you are, you do deserve all the hate you get. I just talked to a friend actually who's in a circle of like not super celebrities but famous-ish, like actor, model, but not influencer, but actually paid actor model. And that friend said this friend and a few other people went on a quick trip to an island here, and there are so many wannabe influencers around. They said it was kind of annoying actually. Like you went to whatever decent place, restaurant, wasn't locked down when they went to the beach, viewpoints, you name it. There would be like people staying there with like light rigs and stuff and try to take like selfie videos and so on. And since that person I know, and I'm not saying the gender so no one stalks them, is like known to a point that people who want to be influencers know that person. So like, hey, you're this person. And then this person said, yeah, let me follow you on IG. And then they're like, yeah, cool, this person follows me on IG. And then this person told us then, their friends, it's ridiculous. They have like, I don't know, 10,000 followers or whatever, probably paid for. Definitely not a real influencer, not getting paid for this or whatever. And they're just trying so hard. It's such a desperate thing to become an influencer. And that's why I'm saying social media influencers deserve all the hate they get, because the ones that made it, they portray like this lifestyle of it's all so easy, right? It all comes so easy and so on. Then lots of, I don't want to sound old, but lots of kids these days, they're like, hey, I want to be a social media influencer. That's a great plan, I guess. So you want to get money for showing your awesome life to other people, right? And I'm not even kidding. So I work at a uni, right? So we had admission interviews and I would ask students, hey, why you want to study here? Like, what's the goal? What's the plan? And then students would say, I want to be a social media influencer. I want to be a YouTube star. And I mean, yes, of course you can have dreams. And if you say, hey, I would like to make this YouTube thing work, go for it. But having this as like the only reason why you want to do something, and like when you ask like, cool, but what do you want to do on that platform? What content are you going to provide on YouTube? Says the guy talking into a camera. What content do you want to provide on social media? Like, why would you be an influencer? It's like, my life? Like, So social media influencers, you do deserve the hate you get. Don't you try to like win my sympathy. Like, oh, life's so hard as a social media influencer. Okay, get a real job. And now I get cancelled. Another article that I saw on the New York Times. I have a few articles from the New York Times today because, well, some were good, some were like one article, and I found this is now no sarcasm. I found it interesting. The headline was, "Are we in the metaverse yet?" And then the byline was like, "Crypto people," and let me make sure I don't misquote it. "Crypto people say they're building it. Gamers might already be living in it. The art world is cashing in on it. Web veterans are trying to save it. But what is it?" That's a very. So I suggest you read this article if you want to. I put in the description of this podcast video, wherever you're consuming this. And this is going to be a discussion I'm going to have in one of my classes, for example. So that's like, what is this? Like Web 3, Web 7.8, whatever, 20 point, I don't know. So that's a very good question. So what's the metaverse, right? And how does this all mesh together? Like crypto, for example, blockchain, and then games, esports, the gaming community. What's the I was almost sweating. What's the NFT stuff doing in it? And this is gonna be a discussion we're gonna have here soon on the podcast. So mark it down. I don't have the date yet, so it's hard to mark it down, I know, but I have a lineup of a few very interesting people, and I'm gonna try to find a way where we hopefully all can talk about this together. So it's going to be not only me and one guest, it's going to be a few people here talking about the future of the web, because I think that's a conversation that needs to be had, because we see so many developmental steps right now that it's hard to make sense of it. And then there's like another quantum leap reference, because quantum computing, check out the news about quantum computing this past week. So there's a quantum leap forward, and you're like, what is this now? NFTs, how did this happen? Like, if you didn't follow blockchain and so on, you're like, how did NFTs now happen, right? So it's easy to get lost on the way in the future, and I think that's why we should have a talk about the future of the web and so on, and I'm trying to facilitate this here rather soon, so you can be hopefully looking forward to that. Yeah, that's a teaser, huh? Okay, but back to some actually hard facts that happened this past week. Apparently, there's a security update for Facebook Messenger out there, or it's going to be delayed. And that's why experts said, hey, Facebook Messenger is still not encrypted. Ditch it. Just get rid of it. Like, what the hell? Still no update, still no fix to this, still not encrypted. Go delete your Messenger from your Android phones, and iPhones as well, of course, from all the phones. And quite frankly, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I deleted WhatsApp because Facebook bought WhatsApp, way back, and then they announced those privacy changes where you thought maybe they gonna use the data from WhatsApp for advertising and so on, because of the big outcry, and they didn't do it yet, but let's see. Anyways, so what I'm saying is I deleted a Messenger for less reasons, right? So actually, I should delete the Messenger. That is actually, yeah, a good call, I think. It's actually a decent call. Add me on, hey friends, add me on Signal or Telegram. I'm going to leave the Messenger. All right. One thing that I found really cool is the wrong word, funny, interesting, was a thing I saw in The Sun, not in The Sun, the newspaper, The Sun, but it was all over the media. It was this Burger King sign, and the Burger King, below the Burger King sign, there was like this old school sign where you could like spell different messages, and Burger King employees spell the message, "We all quit. Sorry for the inconvenience." That's how you go viral. Congratulations, Burger King. I still think Burger King is better than McDonald's, but still. And I don't know why I'm explaining this. The headline of in the Sun newspaper, and no, don't follow the Sun. Don't click on it. I did it for you, so you don't have to. Says, "King gone." Oh God. King gone. Burger King sign reading, "We all quit" goes viral after fed up employees walk out with very public goodbye. King gone. So, but if you That's fair. If you piss off your employees, so that they go to the great length to tell you how much they hate work, yeah, great job, Burger King, great job. But kudos to the employees for going viral. They should have added their IG handles as well. Maybe they would have gotten follow-up interviews, jobs, or something like this. Okay, back to something serious. Well, the podcast craze is still not over. Hey, Spotify, you can still buy this podcast. Spotify inked another deal, bought another show. I think they were on Barstool before. I'm not sure, that show. Spotify bought, from Barstool. I have it on my notes. That's why I'm hesitating. I wrote it down in my notes. So from Barstool, Spotify grabs the show Call Her Daddy, which has seen quite some tumultuous times, I believe, over the past few months or so. I stopped listening to Call Her Daddy a year ago or so, last year at some point. It used to be like a sex show of like two girls talking about like their sexual encounters and whatever they did. I think by now it's only one girl left. There's some back and forth and whatever. Ask Andrew Schultz about it. I think he's the reason why this all happened. At least that's what he claimed. But yeah, so Spotify inks a deal with Call Her Daddy. And you want to know for how much money? $60 million. What? I can talk about sex, Spotify. Let me try. Sex. Did I make the algorithm? Spotify, give me money. What the hell? I mean, I understand Rogan, but what the hell? What do you think about this? People listening, watching, anything. What do you think about this? 60 million for Call Her Daddy? What? Anyone out there want to start a sex podcast? Get in touch with me right now. I'm going to quit my job and we just do sex podcasts. $60 million. What do you think? Let me know. I'm puzzled. Good on the podcast, people, but wow. Okay, but now finally something serious. We talked about this a few weeks ago about Naomi Osaka, mental health, media and mental health, and how media ignores mental health very often, especially when it comes to professional athletes, celebrities, and so on. But then again, hard to feel sympathy because that's how they make money, being in the media and so on. So Time Magazine published a special with Naomi Osaka on the front page, and it's titled, "It's Okay to Not Be Okay." And that's okay. There was a drum roll in case you didn't understand it in the podcast. Yes, it's okay. I'm glad that Naomi Osaka goes a little bit on the offensive there. It's like, hey, I'm going to tell everybody what's the problem, what's the issue, and so on. So I'm all for that. I'm glad that, Time Magazine, for one, brings us into the spotlight. I'm glad Naomi Osaka doesn't just goes away and hides and says like, oh, I'm done with all this BS. I'm all for it. I think that's very good. I appreciate that she's going forward. She's still very young, so it can still be tough if you not really know who you are and so on. So I think that's a very good sign of her to do this. I'm glad it's in the mainstream media. I hope it stays in the mainstream media. I hope it's also going to be a topic during the Olympic Games that's going to start in a week or so, I believe, 10 days, less than 10 days. So all for it. So yeah, kudos, Naomi Osaka. Well done. I like this. I appreciate this. And I hope this will start more discussions in this regard. Let me know again, what do you think about this? Do you think it's going to help? Do you think it's just like a PR stunt? Do you think it's just Time Magazine cashing in on the wokeness when it comes to being woke about mental health? Or is it really going to make some change? What do you think? I mean, Naomi Osaka is a household name in tennis, right? So maybe she's the one who can actually push the boundaries a little and bring more to the spotlight towards mental health issues. So let me know what you think about this. That's a topic really close to my heart, so I'm happy to discuss that, because I think even though it's 2021, we still don't have enough attention, awareness for mental health issues. So again, I like it. Naomi Osaka, thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it. Also good on Time for doing this. I'm not the biggest Time Magazine fan usually, but good on them for doing this. Now it's quite a heavy topic, like mental health. So lighten up a little bit in between. Last week in the media, breaking news: Barack Obama posted a summer's playlist. Barack Obama's summer playlist, awesome, isn't it? If your summer playlist makes the news, you know you made it. And what I found interesting, like, I mean, of course it's a PR thing, but he has like musicians from like all walks of life. He's like Simply Red on there. Simply Red. He's got like Jay-Z, of course, Beyonce, some jazz musicians and so on. So it's like very diverse, just what you would expect from Barack Obama. I wonder I don't wonder how Drum's playlist would look like. It's just Fox and CNN anchors, no, Fox anchors, not CNN, Fox anchors saying his name probably, or it's just Alex Jones saying his name, I don't know. But yeah, I wonder what Joe Biden's playlist looks like. Just country song, good old country. Yeah, that was the lighthearted the lighthearted part of the show. Let's move on to something more serious. But what do you think about this? Like, I mean, why would this be a big deal to publish like Barack Obama's summer playlist? How is this a thing? I don't understand that. So I told you I have more news from New York Times, and one of the articles I read this past week was one that struck a chord with me. It's about could Gen Z free the world from email? So Gen Z, yes, please do that. Email sucks, of course. By the way, New York Times, 3-4 years ago, they published an article, why email marketing is still the #1 marketing channel in the world. Our digital marketing channel. Sure. So now they write about like how Gen Z could free the world from email, and I have to say I see this. I can follow that thought, that train of thought, and I believe this could happen. I work with lots of Gen Z people, members of Gen Z, of course, and they never read my emails, but they do read my messages when it's like an MS Teams or whatever we are using, Line, WhatsApp, whatever. Of course, then I get responses there. Email, not so much. So, and now that Gen Z, of course, grows older, has more impact, more influence, then their behavior, of course, also reflects in a way how other people communicate now. Then we communicate more via messaging apps, for example. So do then companies. So will be marketing campaigns will focus less on emails, for example, and then more on messaging campaigns. It's already happening, of course. Communication university, employers, and so on is all on Slack and whatnot anyways. So no one cares about email anymore. So you see how excited I'm getting. Gen Z, keep on going. Yeah, keep up the good fight. We want email to be gone. And while I'm not Gen Z, I'm still kind of in the millennial thingy. We support you. I'm just speaking for millennials. Unless you are in email marketing, I support you, Gen Z. You do you, Gen Z. You do you, and you get rid of email. Thank you. Emails are terrible. Then smooth transition, no. But, well, emails are online and then there are pictures being posted online. So we talk about the internet. Dua Lipa is in the news. Dua Lipa gets sued for putting a picture that a paparazzi took of her on her Instagram. So a paparazzi took a picture of her. She thought, hey, well, you take a picture of me. It's me on there. I'm just going to use it and put it on my Instagram. Then that paparazzi sued Dua Lipa. What in the world? This is a very good example. It shows like what's wrong with like the rights management out there, right? So how is this even possible that someone takes a picture of me and then I get sued for using that picture? What the heck? Especially in this case, right? What, like, you make money with taking pictures of me and then I get sued for using the picture that you took of me without my consent just for making money. So I understand why Dua Lipa and Dua Lipa fans are angry. I do understand. I mean, I was about to say, I understand why the paparazzi sues, because he wants money from a superstar, of course. He's like, she's got the money, I can sue her. I hope they drag it out for a long time, and I hope this, again, shines a light on like an issue right here, because picture management and how to use rights or what rights you have about content and content of you is still not very clear. We're in 2021, the internet is everywhere, and there are still issues with like rights management and what rights do you have, what rights don't you have. So that's something I think that needs to be addressed, and I hope maybe now with this kind of case, a really famous pop star involved, maybe this gets addressed eventually. And since we're on social media already, Instagram, Dua Lipa, and so on, there was an article in the BBC, and if it makes it in the BBC, it means it's not nothing new, but it also means it's eventually becoming mainstream. And the article read how your personal data is being scraped from social media. So finally, the BBC catches onto that. So this means maybe eventually also my mom believes it, because if I tell her this all the time, she doesn't believe it. So now the BBC writes about like several hacks that happened over the past few weeks and months. And they even interviewed a hacker, I believe, Tom Linen or whatever is the pseudonym or the pseudonym of that hacker. And they talk about like how, for example, in April, a hacker sold a database of 500 million records scraped from LinkedIn. That's this Tom dude, apparently. In the same week, another hacker posted a database of scraped information from 1.3 million Clubhouse profiles. I already deleted Clubhouse, by the way. Clubhouse, rest in peace. I'm so annoyed with Clubhouse. Okay, quick rant. I mean, you probably see it the same. If you still have Clubhouse on your phone, you get notification all the time. Today I had like, not gonna lie, I'm stuttering because I'm so mad. Not gonna lie, I'm not lying. Like 20 notifications from like the same dude that is apparently in every freaking group that I'm in to like entrepreneurship groups or whatnot. And he's like, hey, pay this and gain that much access to whatever. It's a clear scamming thing right now. So scammers on Clubhouse everywhere, spammers everywhere. I hate it. Clubhouse, you're out. You're fired. I fired Clubhouse. I deleted. I should delete my profile. I just uninstalled Clubhouse today. I got so mad. Clubhouse, I'm sorry, but it's a podcast. I can say what I want. Clubhouse, you suck. Clubhouse, you suck. Okay, so Clubhouse got hacked not long ago, right? And also in April, 533 million Facebook user details were compiled from a scrap. And that hacker dude, apparently, who did the Facebook hack and the LinkedIn hack, apparently talked to BBC. But he said he's just a regular dude. He has a normal job. He has a wife. He has kids. And he just hacks as his hobby. And apparently he sells like this LinkedIn database, for example, for like, what did he say, £5,000, £5,000 or something per sale, and just makes quite a living with that. They assume that all the databases go like to other hackers that then want to do something malicious with it, because he just collects the data and then sells it, and those hackers probably try then to hack the accounts, use those accounts for something else, and so on. So yeah. Maybe it's a better should I say that? Yeah. Maybe that's a better line of work to aspire to than a social media influencer. I want to be a hacker. No, I did not say that. Don't do that. But now that this goes mainstream, maybe eventually people are going to take it serious, because tech people like me, or people who are like into tech and so on. I'm not a tech super nerd, but still, we've been saying it forever. Like, don't use your same password here. Don't do the same thing there. Delete your Facebook Messenger. And no one listens. And now that those hacks are happening over and over and over again, that it makes it into the BBC, maybe that now eventually raises awareness. Are you aware of that? Do you care? You don't care? Like, I don't have anything to lose if people get my information. I just delete the spam emails. I don't care. Well, yeah, I wonder, like, what's your train of thought there? So I think it's a bit scary that those hacks are happening over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and nothing really changes because they still keep happening, right? Which means the hackers are more sophisticated than the social media platforms. Or the social media platforms don't really take it serious. So I hope awareness raises here, and maybe people treat it a little bit with more, awareness. Yeah, be a bit more serious about it. Keep your information safe. This leads me to the next news from NBC. They said Facebook, Twitter, and other social media companies need to be treated like big tobacco. And this is interesting again. And I know I say this a lot, but I only compile interesting pieces of information for this podcast, of course. There's a Surgeon General who said they have a new advisory, and they say that the product is in need of serious consumer protection regulations. Meaning there's so much misinformation on social media about COVID-19, health, and so on, that the Surgeon General says, hey, social media is detrimental to the health of the people that are affected by it. So that is crazy. So social media is actually, that's the comparison. Like big tobacco, like it makes lots of money, it's big and powerful, people are addicted to it, but it's detrimental to your health. And yes, it's a bit far-fetched, but we can also see why they're saying it, right? Yeah, it's not like tobacco, we know it. But it can have detrimental effects on your health. You get addicted, you're checking it all the time. Your mental health suffers, and you believe misinformation, which then can have a direct impact on your health. If you're like, hey, I read I should, I don't know, drink this detergent or whatever against COVID. So that's a bit of a stretch, yes. But yeah, I understand why they are stretching and how they're stretching. By the way, people writing this are from the Harvard Kennedy Schools, the Schoenstein Center, and yeah, well, it's on NBC News, but I already said it, so that's why I'm hesitating. So it's from researchers in the area, which I believe adds a little bit of credibility to it, because just that it's on NBC doesn't make it that credible, but it's actually researchers from the Schoenstein Center. I find this, again, a very interesting thing to consider, like how, and no, it won't be treated like big tobacco, but I mean, that makes people click and so on, made me click. The question now is, though, how you're going to treat social media. Will it have more stringent rules and regulations to follow? Won't it be? Will it be like this open freedom of speech for everybody, unless you're not woke enough? Then no. Yeah, what's the guideline to have here, and who again enforces that and who checks that? This leads me to the next question. You've probably all heard about the European Championships, and oh my God, praise the Lord for the fact that English football players can't kick penalties. They just can't shoot penalties. Thank you, not because I hate the English football team, but look at the football fans. They do not deserve celebration. I'm sorry for the guys who missed. They do not deserve happiness. The English football fans do. That's ridiculous what they did again, like with the German kid, but then how they mistreated others, assaulted Danish fans and so on. And how they mistreated their own city. Like, what in the world is wrong with you? And then, of course, how they are now basically abusing the 3 English players who missed the penalties. That's what was it? Rashford, Saka, and I forgot the last one. Sorry. And now those players, they actually urge or try to pressure big companies, Facebook, Twitter, and so on, the social media companies, into acting against racial abuse, because they are very disappointed that so far Facebook, for example, doesn't do much against racial abuse. So they get like very hateful messages, of course, abusive messages and so on. And Facebook doesn't do much. And like, if you report it, we block it, we delete it, but that's all we can do. And now those England players, they try to push for it, like, hey, that's not cool, come on. You can't just let people insult them and then delete it afterwards. Like, what the hell? There must be something better there. Now the question, however, is now because it's celebrities, they, of course, have more spotlight on them, so maybe the pressure helps to drive change forward. But then B, how is it the censorship again? What if I make a sarcastic joke, a remark, and I use a term or whatever that is then deemed inappropriate? Can I then do that? Can I not do that? Will it be deleted automatically? It's going to be an interesting conversation to be had again, similar to what I said before, like who makes the guidelines, how can you make sure that the guidelines are being met? Will it be too strict? Will it not be too strict? But I have to agree that while Facebook, YouTube, and whatnot, they take down like information about COVID, for example, like that's not in line with what those platforms want, they take it down right away. While racial abuse, for example, takes until it's down or might still be on there because it doesn't get detected by the algorithm. I don't know. I agree with those players right now that this is a bit weird. However, I'm not for censorship per se, so needs to be seen what happens there again. Let me know what you think about it. Censor pre-censor, like pre-approve things, or if it gets flagged too many times, but it's already how it is, right? I don't know what to just block all the accounts, never let them back in if they, I think right now you get banned for like a week, 10 days, 2 weeks or whatever. Just completely delete their accounts. I don't know. You tell me how would you fix racial abuse on social media? Make the world a better place. Do it right now. Another quick news, because we talk about China a little bit and John Cena and so on. And John Cena will be happy right now to hear that Xiaomi, the Chinese mobile phone maker, producer, overtook Apple as number 2 smartphone vendor for the first time ever. So congratulations, John Cena. I mean, Xiaomi and China, you're making great leaps. So first one now Samsung. This is flipping on Samsung. Second now Xiaomi ahead of Apple. So China, maybe I should improve my Chinese after all. I was making fun of John Cena. I was hating on John Cena. Maybe John Cena just saw it all coming. It's like, can't fight them, join them. So Taiwan is Chinese territory. I'm kidding. Taiwan is a country. I would never sell out like John Cena. I don't want to see John Cena. Another quick hit here. Google has announced that they add the option to instantly delete your last 50 minutes of search history. If 50 minutes is all you need, you know what I was referring to. That's perfect, right? Delete it all. Good. Who came up with the idea, Google? Spies, of course. Yes, spies. Who came up with the idea? Delete last 50 minutes and it's gone. Kaiser Sose. Please call it Kaiser Sose button for Google. It's not like delete. It should be like Kaiser Sose. And you just click on the Kaiser and it's like, oh, phew, it's gone. Well, that's a great movie, by the way. Like, right? The Usual Suspects. One of my favorite movies of all time. I need to watch this again. It's on Netflix. I will check. Fantastic movie. Really good. Kevin Spacey, right? Yeah, Verbal. Awesome. If you don't know The Usual Suspects, check it out. Okay, so back to the notes. Facebook also announced something. They said their payment system extends to online retailers in August. First ones will be Shopify stores will be able to integrate Facebook payment. So you cannot only then pay on Facebook, but you can use Facebook payment to pay on Shopify stores. Yeah, there is no escaping Facebook anymore. Why don't you then make your messenger secure? We also saw that Microsoft has additional new 3D emojis, because they're big on like 3D emojis, and drum roll. Clippy is coming back. Yes, Microsoft revives Clippy in Office, and it's going to be 3D. So you're going to have a 3D Clippy now. Yes. Didn't you all miss Clippy? I miss Clippy too. I'm recording on a Mac. I don't have any Microsoft product. But hey, welcome back, Clippy. You were kind of missed. And the last new thing that I want to talk about is that the European Central Bank announced that they're gonna start working on the e-euro, so the digital currency for Europe. I can see Bitcoin hodlers being like all scared now because the e-euro is gonna come and not gonna do anything. I mean, it's gonna be a nice currency to trade probably, but what are your expectations for the e-euro, e-dollar, e-yen, e-yuan, whatever? What are your expectations? Gonna have an impact? Is it just another trading asset or like another payment asset? Then you can pay digitally all across Europe. But does it then replace Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on? It doesn't really have the same properties, right? So let me know what you think. I'm, again, very curious about what you're saying here. Crypto specialist also soon on this podcast. Stay tuned for this one. So what do you think? E-euro, e-dollar, whatever currency gonna replace Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, whatever? Or is it just another thing that's gonna fail, or just an electronic payment and then that's it? Well, that's it for today. Again, a little bit all over the place, but just so many news that I found like discussion worthy and that I wanted to talk about with you guys. Let me know what you think about all those topics discussed here. Shout out via social media at funkitpod or via email funkitpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe or to always stay up to date for new content. Of course, I very much appreciate it. I also appreciate the positive reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. Maybe I should read a few. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to steal this from Chris Van Vliet right now. I'm going to read a few of those reviews in future podcasts. So if you review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, for example, I'm going to give you a shout out with your nickname, your IG name or whatever, or your Twitter handle, and then read your review. If it's a nice one, it is. Or if it's not nice, at least be creative. All right. Do this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And as always, stay safe, take care. And I'll see you and talk to you next time. Sawadee Cup.